Yo, what's up? My name is Franco, and this is the MagTube by ProTubeVR. Now, I've mentioned in the past, but I work as a physical therapy tech in the Army. But before I was doing physical therapy, I was actually an infantryman, so I have a lot of experience with rifles, and I've played a bunch of VR military sim shooters. I think they're a lot of fun, but something that's always felt weird to me is the idea of holding a virtual rifle with nothing physical to touch or to simulate that sensation. So when I saw ProTube's product, I instantly messaged them and asked them if I could do a review. They were gracious enough to send me one for free, but they did not pay me to make this review. The MagTube comes in a bunch of different options depending on which VR system that you have. I have the Valve Index, and that's the one that they sent me. They also have different materials that they make it out of, and they start at about $120. Now, mine has a few customizations that they added on for me, so it ended up being a little bit more than that. The one they sent me is made out of carbon fiber, and it feels really premium. The little attachment pieces that you're gonna articulate the rifle with are actually 3D printed. And I wouldn't say that because they're 3D printed, they feel cheap or less than ideal, but it is something to note. There's a piece that they're gonna include that allows you to connect your controllers to the rifle. And it does that with this mag cup, they call it, but it's a magnetic piece, and you're gonna snap the controller into place, and you can easily remove it as you're playing the game. Because the Valve Index controllers are a little weird, it seems like they weren't able to make something that is as clean and polished as some of the images that I see for the different controllers on their website for the other systems. In fact, this thing is held together by zip ties. It's gonna go around your controller, and you're gonna have to feed in the different loops for the different pieces of the controller, and then you tighten it all together with these zip ties, which they include, and they include a bunch of them, but it just seems weird to have to do that on a product that's this expensive and this nice otherwise. I hope that they improve this in the future, because I'd like to see something a little more streamlined and a little more professional looking. That being said, I don't think that it adds a lot of weight to the controller, and once you set it up and you clip the zip ties, it's totally out of the way, and it doesn't really inhibit my playing even other games where I don't use the rifle. But I will say that there might be some tracking issues with the controller itself, because I had some problems when I was playing the game where my hand would kind of drift off, or the controller would start moving without me actually moving it. I contacted them about this, and they actually recommended that I remove the reflective plate that's on the front of the Valve Index, because it apparently causes issues with tracking, and I did that, and it did improve, but I still had some issues with it, which you're gonna see in the footage that's gonna come later on in this video. I also want to mention that I've tried this in a few different games, including Pavlov, Contractors, and Onward, but Onward is usually my game of choice when it comes to military FPS shooters in VR, and it's the game that you're gonna see in this video. And I actually invited a few friends of mine over to try it out because they're also in the Army. That's what you're gonna watch right now. Again, I wanna thank ProTubeVR for sending this out. It was a lot of fun. That being said, let's try this out. So what's your name?
Hi, I'm Matt.
And what's your name?
Ruben.
How long have you been in the Army?
About 8 years.
So what's your job?
I'm infantry.
So you have a lot of experience shooting weapons?
I would say so.
And your job?
68 Juliet, medical logistics.
So what's your experience shooting weapons?
M4, M16, M9.
So I've had an opportunity to try this out for a little bit, and I thought it was pretty cool, but instead of just having me try it, I wanted to get some Army friends. So I have Ruben, who's never played this game before, and he's never played it with the stock, and I have Matt, who has played the game before, but not with the stock. I want to get their idea on what it's like as well, and we're going to kind of incorporate their opinions on our overall thoughts of the ProTubeVR. I've already kind of taken you through the basics since you've never played it, all right? And you feel pretty comfortable with it. First thing I want you to do is go up to just like that, the berm or the sandbags. I want you to just try firing from that point at these targets to see how well you can kind of hit them using the optics that are on the gun right now. And then try and hit the ones that are moving. You're gonna turn around and you're gonna go start this course. So yeah, you can put it on your chest and then go to the, go forward and go right to that red arrow.
Okay, I see it.
And now you can pull out your weapon, and this is gonna start a whole, like, it's a course that target's gonna pop up, you have to shoot them quickly.
Okay. trippy. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, it was kind of difficult trying to align the sight with two controls, with loose
Yeah.
controls. Yeah, too.
Okay. So, did you feel like you could look down the sight pretty well, or?
No, so I kind of had to adjust, you know, my left hand up and down like a lot
Yeah.
while moving. And
It's difficult, but you could still play.
yeah, you can still play.
It's not
just,
like unplayable.
Yeah,
it
no,
just
it's
it's hard to get the
Yeah.
adjustment in. But it's also your first time playing it.
yeah, my
So it
first
takes practice as well. Okay, so let's see what it feels like with the stock.
time.
I've kind of given you a few of the basics of using the stock, and now I just want you to try doing the same thing we did the first time. So you're going to go to the range here. You're just going to shoot some of the closer targets and then some of the moving targets. How does it feel?
It was a lot smoother, a lot easier to actually aim at your target with the scope and everything. Okay, so I gotta get used to this part right here. Let me try to reload. I can practice that. Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to that range.
Oh God!
What do you think?
It was a lot easier. The transition from target to target was definitely a lot easier. Even though it was my first time, it was still a little bit hard, but
I mean, I
lot easier.
saw an improvement. I
Yeah.
saw a total, like, a huge difference. It's a little difficult to reload and stuff like that. That's what it looked like.
yeah. But I think, I mean, even without it, reloading for me was still a little bit difficult just because it was my first time. But I think once, you know, you get the hang of it and it just becomes habit, I think it'll be easy. Pretty smooth.
One thing I noticed when on the second time with the stock is that you were actually using the sights.
Yeah.
The first time, it seemed like you were just kind
reacting to it.
like, yeah, you're like just kind of aiming the gun in the general direction. Whereas on the second time around, it seemed like you were actually using that hollow sight.
So at first I was just reacting to targets popping up and just kind of like aiming
Just,
real
yeah,
quick.
just in general direction.
But I mean, even then it was a lot easier to actually aim at the target. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So then what are your thoughts on it?
On this,
Yeah.
it helps out a lot.
You think it helps?
Definitely way. Yeah.
Okay. You've played this game before. In fact, you
Yes.
actually used the stock a little bit, but you
I
didn't
have.
go through that course. So I'm going to have you do the shooting range first so that you can use the scope, because the gun that you're using has like a more magnified scope. Then you're just going to go through the shooting range as well.
Sounds like a plan.
Cool?
It's moving. Yeah, tracking issues again. What are you doing? Is it this? You think it's the covers on this controllers, possibly?
It could be. So, we all had an opportunity to use it. I think we all kind of like it, but there's definitely some issues with it that I have personally. And I know you did too. So, let's start with you. Since you're brand new to VR gaming, you never played this game before, you tried it with and without. So, what do you like and what do you not like?
I like how easy it is to actually find your target and adjust, but I think the most difficult part for me was whenever I would reload, I would have to like kind of peek under and find the magnet with it.
I use that technique too. I'm kind of like looking underneath the
Yeah.
headset to just like be able to see what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I liked how easy it was to actually find your target. And
What about you?
This has the right idea.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that I think could be refined.
I think it's just about practice, honestly.
Yeah, I think if this is something you're thinking about getting, you might be pretty serious about a game like this, and I think that this might be something you would put the time into to figure out and get set up the way you like. But all in all, I think this is like a huge step in the right direction for a game like this.
And we talked about it earlier. So when you play a game, whether it's keyboard or controller, you're so used to that already. You know what I mean? Like you've done it a million times probably. So it doesn't matter what game it is. As soon as you start playing it, you're like, okay, I've been here before. And I think it's just a matter of practicing with it.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but it's a new physical skill that you have to practice to get better at. And when that doesn't connect with what you know you're capable of doing in a game, it feels a little cumbersome at first.
Yeah.
But I think that's just the beginning stages, because you guys, this is your first time using it, but I've used it before on stream. I've used it just playing around with it, and I was a lot more proficient, I would say, not to like talk, not to hype myself up, but I'm a little more proficient with it. But that's and you saw how quickly I could find it, but that's because I've played with it a bunch already. I've kind of tested it out, so I know that you can get there where you can snap in really quick.
I feel like eventually it'll just become habit.
It does, yeah. But it takes a second to get there. I don't know if that's like a downside to it, but it is definitely something to consider. It takes practice to get used to it and to get proficient with it. And I still don't even think that I'm there, because when I'm playing multiplayer, I start stumbling and I kind of mess up. So, and that was something I saw with you. Even though it made you better when you were shooting, every time that you were trying to find it, it took a while. I don't know if you were using that little
trying to
look under technique.
I don't think I had the visor set in a way that I could do that, but it was still like VR is kind of this thing where you have to learn a mechanical skill as well as a gaming skill. Most of us are used to just using an Xbox or PlayStation or keyboard and mouse, and I think especially if you're someone who's done like 3-gun or you're in the military and you're familiar with handling weapons and that kind of thing, then this might be kind of strange to you the first time you use it, just because of that crossover between the mechanical skill.
But what's more strange, having your hands floating there or having a physical stock?
Having floating.
I'd say the floating for sure.
I think not having anything physical to put your hands in that familiar position is more strange.
It felt a lot more natural when we had.
Yeah, it is strange to get used to, especially when you compare it to, the actual an actual rifle. But it feels a lot better having that than not having it. I think you just have to get used to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're super hyper competitive playing these games. You may not want to just like start playing those competitive matches with this right away. You may want to practice first. But if you're just looking for like some sort of immersion and you just want the game to feel more realistic, then I think it's a no-brainer. I think it makes sense, because it does feel right to have something in your arms, to feel something in your shoulder. It does feel more natural. It's just those little quirks about the magnet sockets that you need to get used to before I would say that it's like perfect. I think it's cool. I like it. I don't know. You guys seem to like it too?
I like it.
Yeah, definitely lots of fun. Definitely lots of. I could definitely see myself playing this a lot.
I want to try the one with the force feedback in the shoulder.
Yeah,
I think that would be really cool too. I don't know how it connects, but hopefully I can try that at some point too. Do you know how to do a YouTube outro?
No.
See you next time.
You got the like, the comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. Okay. So like the video, and then. I mean, you just did it. Comment and subscribe.
Hey, I thought we were doing it scripted.
All right, if you like this, let me know. I like having friends come over and try it out, so hopefully I can do more of this.
Don't forget to comment
and subscribe.
You're naturals. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace. So this is the second of oh. Jesus Christ! Oh. God damn it. The dog came coming right at me.